This, of course, President Trump claimed was a big win for him, but we're not seeing China buying more. If anything, they're buying less.
Absolutely. So out of this Trump-Xi meeting, we really didn't get a lot of details. One of the few things that Trump told us, of course, that was good for the U.S. side, is that China had apparently agreed to buy more U.S. agricultural goods. And, you know, that's sort of the smallest point, I think, in this trade deal that the Trump administration is trying to deal with right now. Things like IP theft and state subsidies in China are obviously the harder issues. But, of course, this would be a win for farmers, and that's a politically sensitive group for Trump as he heads into a re-election campaign. But as you mentioned, Sherry-Ann, the data shows today that actually Chinese agriculture purchases from the U.S. have actually dipped since that meeting. And, you know, we have Trump himself questioning whether China is really committed to increasing those purchases.
And Selina, of course, every time that President Trump has been very optimistic about progress in the trade talks, the response from China has been pretty measured. What exactly are they saying about these agricultural goods?
What we're hearing is some misalignment on the China side. What we're hearing is that they claim they didn't make any specific commitments to buy more agricultural purchases and that this was contingent on how the talks progressed. And Bloomberg actually reported several weeks ago that they were considering this as a goodwill measure, but the size and scale would likely be much smaller than the previous time. At the same time, we're also hearing from the Ministry of Commerce here in Beijing that talks will restart, but on the basis of mutual equality and respect. And the assumption is that when Trump makes tweets like this, it doesn't really help that cause that China is hoping for, to be on this level playing field. Also, despite some of these early indications that these phone calls are starting, that negotiations may continue, there's a lot of pessimism here in Beijing among bureaucrats and former diplomats who really see both of these positions of these countries hardening, especially after talks broke down, and there's still a lot of disagreement about who walked back on terms, why they broke down. Many differences remain, agricultural purchases only being one of them. Of course, there's still the removal of tariffs, enforcement, and Huawei. So there is no clear path that anybody is seeing on either side into how a lasting deal can be made at this point.